All right, guys, more match lessons from Tar Heel 3-gun. This one is on thinking outside the box for stage plans, let's call it. So on this stage here, this was one of those pretty complicated stage for a match that's largely open terrain. So you had to shoot those 3 pieces of steel in the back. Then you had to shoot a 200 yards piece of steel. You can see that guy kind of like right there-ish. And then this was a triple plate rack at... oh, I don't know what that was. I think it was like 100 yards or something like that. So you had to shoot all that stuff. Then there was some paper on the right, some clays on the right, which you had to shoot with the shotgun, some steel, which could be shot with the pistol. All the paper was rifle, pistol option, some clays on the left. So there were a few places where you had to go with the shotgun. There's a few things you had to do with the rifle. And then most people opted to shoot all the way to the end. And you can see this dump box in the back there. Most people shot to there, did a transition to a pistol, pulled it out, and finished up the last couple things you couldn't get to. Now, what I ended up doing was I shot this piece of paper here right off the bat with the rifle. I shot all the stuff I had to shoot with the rifle. I did a mag change on the way out because I have sworn off D60s because they have screwed me too many times. Shot a few pieces of paper that I had to shoot, and I did my transition back to my shotgun, came out, I shot through here, cleared this malfunction, shot through here, and here is where I gained a bunch of time. I probably gained most of my time just shooting the rifle because that was the largest time suck on the stage, but this certainly gained me several seconds. You can see how far away I am from this dump barrel on the left. It's going to take me multiple seconds to run there, dump my gun, draw my pistol, come back to this position. Now I'm drawing on a backwards movement. There's a 180 trap there. A lot of things that I don't want to get sucked into. So instead, I just did a transition to a slug mag, and I shot 2 pieces of paper with a slug to finish it up. So here is the last little portion of this stage. That was it. So those are the 2 pieces of paper that I couldn't get with the rifle from the very beginning. I could actually shoot this one with the rifle if I stepped out a little bit farther, but I could not get this one. And I was like, well, I already have to come in here and shoot this one. I might as well just shoot both of them with the slug. So just a little bit of thinking outside the box on a stage plan here. This was a stage win. I was pretty excited about that. And the one thing, I put this in and then racked one out. Depending on how I do this, I might just put in a slug mag and then burn that last one on a target. But I wanted to keep it kind of simple because I'd had a pretty bad opening stage. This is the second stage of my match. So I wanted a slightly simpler plan, so I just put it in, racked one out, and then shot these last 2 slug targets. So a couple things about this. Thing number 1, always bring more slugs than the match says. So if the match says you have 5 slugs, you need at least 15 because most of the time what we do is we put 2 or 3 slugs in a spot where we need to shoot an actual slug target, and then we burn a couple slugs out. So on almost every single actual slug target in this match, I put in 3 slugs. I shot one, and if I got a first round impact, which I think I did in all my slugs, I burned 2 out of the gun really quick. Now that's obviously a little bit slower than just shooting one, getting your hit and moving on. But if you miss that thing, you want a little bit of a buffer, and it's pretty quick to just burn 2 slugs out of a gun on 90-second stages like they had in this match. The extra 0.4 of a second to just burn 2 really quick is not a huge time suck. But if you miss and that's your only slug, that is a real problem. Also, you want a few slugs for things like this where you might want to slug a piece of paper. So those 2 slugs obviously weren't in the slug round count for the match. Now, thing number 2, read the rule book. One of the bummers about 3-gun is almost every single match you go to, there is a slightly different rule set. If you want to hear me and Maxwell rage about rule set changes in 3-gun, we talk about it a ton on the podcast. You can go there and listen to us rant and rave. This isn't the place for it. But I knew I could do this because I read the rule book. I knew that paper was 2 rifle, 2 pistol, or 1 slug. That opens up a lot of options. Whenever I go to a new match where I've never been before and I don't know the rule book, I read the whole rule book and I make little cliff notes of important things. Gear stuff. Like in this match, you can stage 1 piece of gear for open division. So you can either stage a bag or a tripod or whatever. You can't stage mags. So you can't put 3 tripods on a stage. You can't put an extra mag on the ground at the long range position where you're going to shoot, things along those lines. So I'm going to read the whole rule book. I'm going to make notes of, you know, what different miss penalties are and things like that, because that's going to change how aggressively I shoot a stage. And I'm going to know things like I can slug paper if I need to. So thinking outside the box occasionally really pays off, because sometimes you get a stage win and you get to feel real good about yourself.